Hello everybody and welcome. I'm Pretty Adrida. I'm a mindset coach. So today I want to talk to you about how to cultivate a healthy relationships in your life. And I will share with you things that have really helped me and inspired me and have just been helpful in my life, which you can use to improve your current relationship. So let's get started. Now, we need to understand that everything on this planet is about evolution. It's about growth. We're just the students of life, and we need to experience lots of different polarities to embody the wisdom we've earned. So we need to understand that no one is better than the other. We've all made mistakes, but when we learn from our mistakes, then they fulfill their purpose to help us master our lessons. So we'll talk about love. Now, some people qualify love as the infatuation movies that they see on social media, on Instagram, on TV shows, where it is so high, then the next minute you're mad, you're irritated, you are angry because that person didn't text you, didn't reply to your message, and you want to control, you want to manipulate them. You want to say, okay, she or he took 1 hour to text me, I'm going to show them, and I want to take 2 hours to text them back so they understand my value. Or you will say something like, I'm going to make him or her miss me, or I'm going to play hard to get. So this kind of love is called infatuation, or it's like addiction, blinded by ego. This is more like slavery. And it is sad that lots of people, they're stuck in this slavery love that are commercialized by movies. So how can you turn your relationship into a conscious one where it becomes more of a sharing? So this is what we're going to do today. We're going to talk about this today. Okay. So first, you need to develop a friendship that will last longer than just the physical attraction that is going to wear off very quickly. Okay. And the second thing, now let me just briefly explain a little bit about that, because I want you to also question yourself, like, what are the things that you both like to do together? It could be listening to music, it could be like watching movies together, and these are things that you used to do when you first met. Now you're both busy with work, with house, especially if you have kids and you don't pay attention anymore. So I want you to ask yourself this question, like, when was the last time you both went out for a romantic dinner? Now, the aim of romantic relationships is never to make each other happy. It's more to make each other aware, because your partner isn't there to give you what you lack, but to help you find it. They're not there to fill your empty spaces and have you fill theirs in exchange. You need to be present with your partner. Enjoy this moment together, because it is so beautiful, and this time will never come back. Now, how many of us, when we are having an argument, we just, lashing out, when our partner's talking to us, we're just on the phone, we are being distracted by other things. Maybe if you both work as a team and not against each other, where you ask your partner, how can I support you, instead of attacking them, and also understand that they have their own stories, they have their own fears, they have their own insecurities, they have their own baggage, and that they are a programmed being. They have their own suffering, they have their own pain. Because you can't throw a pain on them, and they cannot do that either on you. So you can go back to that moment in the past where they did something wrong, and maybe they felt guilty about it, and they're trying to change for the better, but each time you keep bringing up the past, reminding them of what they did wrong, and then it becomes like a vicious circle, and the fight, it continues, it never ends. So there has to be a time when one of you decide to just let go. And it's not about who is right or who is wrong. It's not a competition of whose ego wins. You're not two separate opposing teams. You are a team working together for a mutual goal. If you both choose to grow together, then your relationship will have meaning. Then you can grow together. You both have to accept your past and accept your current problems so that you can evolve towards a new reality. But it's necessary to assume responsibility for your own feelings, for your own beliefs, without burdening your partner with a job that they're incapable of doing themselves. So you have to understand that it's not about the other person, it's about you. Okay? Now, we need to understand something very important. If your partner or someone puts you down or belittle you in any way, it's because of their own lack of self-esteem, and it's not your baggage to carry. But if you feel bad about yourself, you may put the put downs on board and just let them diminish your confidence even more. Okay? Because it's also about, if you take it personal, whatever they've been saying to you, if you take it personal, then it's about you. It's the underlying belief that you have about yourself. But if you feel confident, you shrug off the words with the thought that, okay, she or he must be having a bad day or tough day, and he's taking it on me, and you don't take it personal because you realize that it's not about you. You know that if somebody is rude to you, it comes from the hurting space inside them. Actually, what they are doing is talking to an unacceptable part of themselves, but projecting it onto others instead. So we need to separate what belongs to us and what is their stuff. Okay? Nothing is about you. Because people got so many stuff going on in their mind. They are not even taking care of what you're saying sometimes because they are so focused on their needs, on their personal stuff. So if we take what they said personal, or if we feel bad, then we have taken something on board. So the key is to stop blaming the other person and to start looking at the belief that you have about yourself. Because your own peace, your own joy can only come from a space from within you, in fact. You are the one who is responsible for your own happiness. You're the only one who can actually save yourself, because other people can guide you, they can motivate you, but you are the only one who can actually be happy. Okay? Now, out of pain that you have experienced, you will sometimes put barriers in the way to love which don't belong there. Like if someone rejects you or abandon you or say something hurtful, you begin to put up a wall to protect yourself. And the more unlovable you believe you are, the more things you interpret as rejection, and the thicker the wall you put up to protect your vulnerable inner selves. So each time you interpret something as rejection, you add a brick to your defensive wall and you move further away from other people. This is what you need to understand, because the moment you understand this, you'll be able to understand so many things, why it's happening to you. And if you're trying to attract someone, or you want your partner to make you feel complete, then you will always be incomplete in your relationship. What you need to do is to learn to love with an expanding heart again, and not just in romantic relationships, but learn to love life itself and be grateful that you're here, you're alive, you're healthy, you're not sick. Imagine those people who are out there, they don't have people who support them, they are not healthy, they don't have enough basic things. So it's very important that you love yourself first, because love is the practice of acceptance, it's the practice of forgiveness, it's the practice of bringing presence and opening your heart, even at your most vulnerable. But we sometimes treat it as a destination, as a journey. But we need to treat it as an exploration and understand that true love doesn't come to you, it has to be inside you. You can't go and look for it elsewhere, it has to come from you. Yes, something else. We maintain relationships by appeasing the other, but over time you tend to lose your sense of who you are because of what you've had to do to keep up or to maintain the relationship. So in this process, you can turn into someone different, and often someone you don't want to be. But if you look at traditional relationships, people are so preoccupied with pleasing their partner that they end up repressing their own instincts, their own feelings, their own desires, their own dreams, aspirations, even their own fears. So we need to understand that relationships, they don't cause pain, they don't cause suffering, they don't cause unhappiness. They bring out the pain and unhappiness that is already in you. What is the underlying belief that you grew up with when you were a child? What did you learn about relationship? What did you learn about what a healthy relationship should be? Did you see your parents always fighting at each other's throat, always? So when two people unite with the intention of growing together, the relationship will advance towards something much bigger than personal gratification. It will become a fascinating journey of evolution, where both of you have the opportunity to grow individually instead of renouncing your own needs to please the other. And another secret about having a relationship that is healthy is being compassionate with yourself and with the other person. Understand that they also have scars, they also have wounds. So you have to look at them, pay attention to them, listen to them, ask them about their fears, about their goals, about their dreams, about their aspirations, and get to understand them, get to love them as they are. Don't judge them, because they will feel it, they will judge you as well. This is where they don't, when you're talking to them, they shouldn't be feeling like you are judging them or like you're blaming them, you're complaining about each and everything that they're doing. They don't feel like you're blaming them for everything or that they are being attacked. And if you do that, things are going to shift, okay? They will feel like they've been heard, that they've been validated, that they've been understood. So pain and hurt, they are sure sign of ego love. Because when you believe that it's the other person who is the source of your fear, of your unhappiness, you're not in a soul-based relationship. It's the illusion that about love that hurts. Okay? Because hurt is unforgiveness. And this pain continues to resonate within us, and they affect our body, they affect our mind, they affect our soul, until we decide to forgive. And forgiveness heals pain. I know you will say it's easy to say, but to forgive someone, like in theory, but when it comes to the person who abandoned you when you needed them most, or that friend you trusted who let you down, or who deceived you, or it's difficult to forgive the one who hurt your child, or the love of your life who didn't love you back, or the partner who lied to you or cheated on you, or maybe broken their vows, or there are so many, like the person who attacked you, who the culprit who died before you had the chance to confront them, the person who abused you when you were a child, the family member who repeatedly is trying to harm you. It's difficult to forgive the bully who made your life a hell. It's difficult to forgive the parent who was never home, or the partner who took away all your money, and all these things. I know it's difficult to forgive, but when you're able to finally get to where you want to be, you realize later that there is more work to be done, and that sometimes the person hurts you again in the same way, and you have to forgive them for the new hurt as well as forgive them again for the past hurts. I know it's not that simple, but forgiveness does heals for your own peace of mind. It allows you to move forward and live in peace. And the pain of the situation, it cannot be overcome without first forgiving the person responsible. And sometimes the person that you need to forgive is really you, for allowing them to hurt you, for really giving them the permission to hurt you. And forgiveness doesn't mean that you have to maintain a relationship with the person who hurt you, or the person who really made you miserable. You have to tell them that you forgive them. Okay, it doesn't require that you tell them, okay, I forgive you because I want to be at peace. It doesn't require that you like them. It doesn't require that you forget about what was everything that has happened. It means that you have to just let go, that you give yourself freedom, that you unlock the chains that are holding you down. And if you want to have the life that you want, I suggest you write down the things you need to forgive yourself for. Maybe you've let yourself down by not keeping the promises you made to yourself, or by making choices you're not proud of. Maybe you're held back by your guilt, by your shame. So whatever it is that you need to forgive yourself for, do it today. There may be ways of avoiding others in your life who have hurt you, but there is no way of avoiding yourself, which is why starting your forgiveness journey will make the biggest difference, trust me. And even though it's not easy, it's worth your peace. Okay, so once you've written your list, just work through whatever emotions you have, and then, as silly as it may sound, just express your forgiveness out loud, being as specific as possible. Like you've already written it, you just take it in front of you, you just read it out loud. Okay? Like anything else with practice, it becomes easier. And once you've practiced forgiveness on yourself, begin forgive, like try to forgive others as well. Start with the smallest hurts to continue gaining a practice and work your way up to the biggest ones. And be sure to notice how much lighter you feel even after like intentionally forgiving these small hurts, so that you can build the courage you need, that you will need to confront the larger hurts. So remember this always. Forgiveness frees. It frees you. It liberates you. And it heals. Okay? Sorry, I was just a bit distracted by forgiveness. I can write a book on that. So where were we? Yes, so we were talking about ego-based and fear-based relationship. So the partner in the ego-based relationship helps you to see your own shadow so you can work on it and then become whole. Okay, whereas in a soul-based relationships, you both grow, but not through pain, but instead through awareness and being present. You also don't have any power battles and like blaming games with each other, right? And also it's about living in the present moment and becoming aware of what's happening around you, because this perspective is necessary not only to have an enriching relationship, but also to take full advantage of each moment and grow as a person. So in whichever relationship you are, just remember that you always get that which you need the most at any given moment. So embrace it fully and learn from your current lessons. It doesn't mean that you have to stay in a dysfunctional relationship. Sometimes part of the teaching is to leave, is to follow your gut feeling. And another important key is to give them the space to do what they love to do, to have their own individuality, then come back together. You can discuss, those things and just share it with each other. But having your own life and having the space to give them their own life and not keep interfering in theirs, or they interfering in yours, or choking them, or being too possessive of them and asking for their constant attention, or maybe frequently checking on them, won't work in the long run. You've got to trust that person. You need to realize it's not them, it's about you. Work on yourself, heal yourself, end of story. When something is not working on in your life, when you're fighting, you're having an argument, it's time that you look inside. And also communication is the key to a great relationship. When you just had a fight, don't do the silent treatment, Don't just block them off on WhatsApp, on Facebook, or stop talking to them. That is only serving your ego. That is only serving your past pain, your past wounds. Take all the time you need to process things, but speaking out, talking, sharing is such an important thing, because it resolves that issues instantly than if you were to keep holding it against the person. Don't create drama or make a big story in your head, allowing all the allowing the silent treatment. That's another form of manipulation, of manipulating them to feel sorry because your ego thinks it is right and it must win at all costs. So the ego love is the love of a person who hasn't yet entirely found themselves. So when you don't know who you are, you believe that you cannot be complete without someone else. This is ego love. Okay? And also another thing that I wanted to talk about, like, sometimes you feel that there's a void in your heart that frightens you, and the only fleeting moments when you don't feel the void is when you're with that somebody, when you're with someone else who loves you. So therefore it's so comforting to be loved as you receive what you refuse to give yourself. Okay? So often, without realizing, you believe that if you'd have someone else to be there for you, you'd become whole again. And perhaps at the beginning of your relationship, it can feel that way. Yet, somewhere deep down, you believe that you're not enough, even for yourself. That you're not worthy enough, good enough, that you don't deserve happiness. And you think that you can fix everything by gaining someone else's love, someone's love, and someone's attention. And the moment you find them, you're scared that they will leave, that you will lose them, because subconsciously you believe that no one can actually love you, as you cannot honestly love yourself. And thus you begin to manipulate, you begin to control the other person slowly. And you are driven by the fear that if you be yourself, they would leave. They will not be happy with the person that you are. Therefore, you need to create an effort to keep them. And you always worry that if you'd give them freedom, they'd be gone. So this is the ego love that is based on your fears, on your lack of self-love. When you don't feel whole, it's almost guaranteed that you experience ego love. It's an illusion of love that wants to restrict, that wants to earn someone. And the same might be true for your partner, and you experience endless battles and arguments where each play out your hidden beliefs about yourself. Like you both keep making assumptions, and you don't ask questions instead, which is the only way to get the answers that you need. And sometimes you jump to conclusions, you make assumptions that are not necessarily true, and you assume that if you say good morning to someone, to a close friend, and there is no reaction, you would perhaps assume that they were angry at you, right? Without any real proof. Okay? So this is what happens. When you don't understand something, you conclude you know what it means. When things become apparent, or when things become clear to you, then you can see that it means something completely different than what you actually, all the worst scenarios you build up in your mind. So we need to be aware. It's about awareness. Be aware of your natural inclination to draw conclusions on things about yourself, on things about others, on things about the world around you. And instead listen actively without judgment. Don't listen while thinking about your next best reply. And one thing that I wanted to point out, sometimes, in relationships, we have all these always. We need to limit your always, limit your nevers. Like sometimes you will say to your partner, you never help out in the house or in the kitchen or with the kids. Is it really true? So don't rush to conclusions too quickly. Don't assume that your partner knows everything you expect in a relationship. Your partner is not a mind reader, okay? A relationship should be based on communication, not assumptions, okay? Just give me a sec. I'll just close this door. Yes, so it shouldn't be on assumption, it should be on communication. So find the courage to ask questions and to express what you really want. Communicate with others as clearly as you can to avoid any drama, to avoid any misunderstanding. And if you do that, it will completely transform your life. Get everything that is bothering you out. Vent if it's comfortable. This is one way you can heal. Let go of all hurt. Let go of all the anger, the grief, the drama, everything. Okay? And when it hurts, just observe, because life is trying to teach you something. A lot of what weighs you down isn't even yours to carry. So before you start to attract a relationship or bettering another one, you need to heal yourself first. If there's a problem in your current relationship, it's not just about the other person, because the other person is only a reflection, a mirror. Nobody is a victim here. Both of you need to take responsibility for your own actions, for your own feelings. And remember, for all actions, there are consequences. If you're attracting negativity, just look inside of you. What is inside of you that you're constantly attracting? You need to heal your inner wounds first. When you heal on the inside, your life heals on the outside. Then you begin to attract peace, health, good people, helpful people, people who are here to support you. So healing yourself, healing your inner child is the first place, and it's the best way to heal your relationship. And when you start feeling better, you will create better circumstances in your life. And also, don't get so full of your own negativity that that you have to manipulate the other person. You don't need to do what you've been doing for years anymore. It's time that you don't go back each time to your old self. It's time that you start something. Be consistent. Like if you want to change, be consistent about it. Don't start like for 2 weeks and then you say, okay, it's not working and I'm going to shift to something else. This is what we normally do. You don't need to make the other person love you and miss you or feel bad for what they did to you. Just look inside. See what is broken inside of you that you have to blame it on the other person. Ask your partner what makes them feel the most loved, the most appreciated, and just learn about them. Work on your own self-love. Otherwise, you will take everything personal. Everything that people are going to say will offend you. Recognize your shadow side and work through it consciously, rather than expecting that somebody else is going to fix it for you. And if you do that, you will turn from a little insecure self into a grown-up person who knows all the aspects and also takes full responsibility for them. Because your age has very little to do with the fact that like if you're emotionally and mentally mature or not. It doesn't have anything to do with age. And your deepest shadow parts, like, the part within you, that shadow part, it cannot disappear by themselves without you actively participating. And your partner's responsibility is not to save you, it's not to fix you. Okay? When you love someone with your soul, you always support them in their dreams. You trust them, you give them the freedom to do what they want. You expand, you grow with them without any, without trying to, trying too much. You can be your true self with them, and they can be their true self with you as well. And when you love someone, you always wish them the best, even if that would mean they leave. Okay? And when you love someone, you both take care of each other's, you both take care of your mess. They can help you if they want, but there is no expectation on your side. Okay? The more you expect something, the more you get disappointed. There shouldn't be an expectation. And most importantly, you feel really expanded with them, as opposed to feel like you need to hide or you need to shrink, as in most fear-based relationship. So if we heal our relationships with people, this can do us a lot of good, and it can bring a lot of positive energy into our lives. And if you're having issues, if you're having conflicts with your family or your friends or your partner, then know that this is just a reflection of your own inner battle, inner conflict. So I'm repeating this a lot so that you understand it clearly. Okay? So the world that you see on the outside is a reflection of what is on the inside. I keep telling you about that. So if you see something that you're not happy about, then it's an indicator that you need to look here at your own life, and you need to begin resolving the core issue, the trigger that is causing the anger, the frustration, like your current issue. And also you need to develop, I'm sorry, I just wanted to sneeze, I think it's stopped. Yeah, you need to develop a self-care practice. Okay, eat vibrationally, food that raise your vibration. But when you eat it, you have to eat it mindfully. Okay, do yoga, do any exercise, walking. For example, after you eat lunch, you walk 15 minutes. After you eat dinner, you walk 15 minutes. Spend time in nature, because nature is very cleansing and very powerful. Take time also to rest. Okay, breathe deeply, go outside, get fresh air in your lungs. Do things that you're passionate about. Meditate, find space within yourself where it's still, where it's calm, where it's peaceful. And if you have a dog, play with your dog, play with your pet, have fun with your kids. And also brain exercise, they're very important, as it's like physical exercise, like Sudoku, Scrabble, dominoes, chess. It has been proven that it may help sharpen certain thinking skills that tend to decline with age, such as processing speed, planning skills, reaction time, decision making, there's short-term memory, all these things. Okay, and also find a work-life balance. All of these things will help you to feel better. Okay, and before I forget, something else that I want to talk to you about is integrity and honesty. For any relationship to be working, You must be honest with yourself. You must be honest with others. When you're honest with yourself, it's easy to become honest with others. You must share what you're feeling and what is on your mind, what is bothering you. Like, be truthful, be authentic, be yourself. You want a heart connection, and this really comes when from being honest, and this does take a lot of strength, a lot of courage, and a lot of willingness to really step down, to soften the ego, to put your walls down. And this can be very tough because in this society we've been conditioned to put our walls up, to constantly be in fight flight mode, and to not cultivate deep meaningful relationship with people. But it can absolutely be done, and it's worth it. It's very worth it. Okay. And something else that I want to talk about is having healthy boundaries in your relationship. It's about you cultivating yourself to the point where you can be totally honest, totally forgiving, and have good things to bring to the relationship. But if the other person doesn't show willingness to grow, to evolve themselves, and to cultivate good energy in their lives, then that's a good time to have boundaries, healthy boundaries. Healing a relationship doesn't always involve coming together and being closer. Healing a relationship can often involves having boundaries and going your separate ways, instead of staying in a relationship where you're both unhappy just because of kids. A lot of time it's the only way to have harmony with certain people, because regardless of how much time, how much effort you put into cultivating yourself, the other person might not be willing or might not have the space to do that. So having healthy boundaries include things like saying for yourself that I will not communicate in this angry, hostile way and with this person or anyone, because it's not helping me, it's not helpful at all, it's not constructive, and I will not allow myself to be manipulated or taken advantage of my kindness anymore. So it's really being truthful to yourself and say that, okay, is enough. Maybe I've worked things out, I'm trying my best. Like, the most powerful thing that you can do is really bring yourselves together to dissolve your egos. This is one of the things that egos, it can ruin your relationship. So bring yourself together to dissolve your egos and get out of each other's way, and to really do some profound healing of whatever's going on between you, between you and what you're trying to resolve. Okay. And it's also very important to heal your inner child, like bringing more wisdom, more guidance into your relationship, which brings so much clarity and such a sense of peace, and knowing that there's something much greater than our little problems that we are imagining right now. It encourages us to be the best version. When you do that, it encourages you to be the best version of yourself, so you can love your partner unconditionally and vice versa. And also connect to the fact that you are both alive, and you're both sharing this experience in this unique, in this whole vast universe together. And that is really such a beautiful thing. Okay. Well, this is where we come to an end. Thank you, everyone. And if you like these videos and would like to receive more content like these, then go ahead and subscribe to this channel and hit the bell icon. And if you're having trouble working on your fears or your limiting beliefs and would like to use the help of a coach to help heal any past traumas or even your inner child, you can reach out to me in the link below. And if you have any questions, or if there's anything that you would like to know more of in terms of your health, you can just put the question down below. And love you all, and I'll see you in the next one. So take good care of yourself, and hope you enjoy this video. Thank you so much. Have a great day. Thank you.